You know what's exhausting? Watching people online rush to pick sides the second there's a violation of the ceasefire. It's like a football game. Like people have been waiting to say, "See, I told you so," the moment the first shot is fired. We're talking about real lives, and a moment that might, just might, lead us out of this war zone. And people are busy scrolling on their curated echo chambers, letting the algorithm tell them who to blame. I'm fed up with it. Because here's the thing. If all you do is tune into the news feed, one social media feed, one political voice, then of course you're gonna think you know who exactly broke the ceasefire. But in truth, you don't. None of us usually do. Not yet. Look, I'm not here to defend Hamas. I don't trust them. They're a terrorist organization. But I'm also not going to sit here and pretend Israel's conduct is above scrutiny, or that every retaliatory strike is justified because someone violated the ceasefire. That's not how peace works. That's not how restraint is supposed to work. Ceasefires, especially in a war zone like Gaza, don't come online just like flipping a switch. There's no magic moment where every fighter on the ground gets the memo, lays down their weapon, and just sits tight. You get chaos, you get broken communications, you get rogue units, some loyal, some not. And you have shattered command structures that are literally under rubble. So yeah, there's going to be flare-ups, there's going to be violations. A test whether the leadership on both sides, especially the one with far more power, can hold their fire and see the big picture. And that's where Israel needs to be smarter. The idea that every incident, every rocket, every gunshot must be answered with a full military response, that's not strategy. It's just an emotional reaction. And risk everything you've been working so hard towards just to get a pause in this moment. Now let's talk about the hostages, because that's the heart that gave this ceasefire any weight. Hamas has already returned all living hostages. That's their most powerful card. That was their leverage that held everything together. And now that's gone. And they're still being told to produce the remains of all the people who have died, which, let's be honest, might be physically impossible in a place that's bombed into the ground. Does that mean Israel has to give a pass to Hamas? No. But it doesn't mean that they then have to start cutting humanitarian aid over something that might be logistically impossible. That's not how you build peace. That's how you punish innocent civilians for something they couldn't do anything about. There's over 2 million people in Gaza. Most of them have nothing to do with Hamas or rockets or fighting. They're just trying to survive, feed their kids, and find shelter under skies that haven't been safe for weeks. And I'll say this loud and clear. I do want a two-state solution. I want Israel to live in peace. I want the Palestinians to have dignity and freedom. But I also do not want to leave Hamas in power. If there's going to be a future in Gaza, a future where schools are rebuilt, aid flows freely, and people don't have to live under the shadow of rockets or airstrikes, then Hamas cannot be running it. They're not peacemakers. They're not a government. They're an armed faction that has brought nothing but suffering to the very people they claim to defend. And yes, I want peace. I want a real, long-lasting two-state solution. But it has to be built without Hamas holding the reins. So everyone out there treating like this is a political ping-pong game, ready to scream blame before facts even land, I'm asking you, grow up. Stop letting your favorite news app or influencer tell you who to hate. Wait, watch, think. Because if there ever is going to be a moment to choose restraint over reaction, this is it. Let's not waste the little progress we have made. Let's not blow this chance for something better because we're too addicted to outrage and unwilling to admit we don't always have the full picture. The stakes are too high. We cannot be reflexive in a blame game and blind loyalty. And honestly, the people suffering the most, they're the ones who have never picked up a gun. They're the ones we're supposed to be fighting for. So let's remember that.